Third grade. I have the power of magnets opened up here today and just wanted to kind of take a walk through it. I won't read it all again because you can go back and listen to me read that from Monday's videos, but this is the selection that you will be tested on and when you do your lesson 27 test on Friday. So I thought we'd walk through that and just talk about a few things. One of the things I want to make sure that you understand and we review is that a magnet attracts objects with iron in them. So those are the kinds of things that a magnet is going to stick to. A refrigerator door is made of iron or steel, and so the magnets stick to that. If you want to, go around your house and discover which metallic items are made of iron or steel, you can do that using a magnet. That's pretty cool because not all metals are magnetic. Aluminum cans are metal, but they're not magnetic. So just understanding and remembering that a magnet attracts objects with iron in them would be important to remember. Now, the other thing that's worth mentioning and learning about magnets is that magnets have their strongest power at their poles. So the ends of a magnet, if it's a horseshoe magnet, it would be the two ends here. If you had a rectangular bar magnet, it would be at each end. The center, the middle, would be the weakest part of that magnet, but the ends of the magnet are the strongest parts. Now, if you have little circular magnets or a refrigerator magnet that's really thin or something, you're not going to pick up those poles. They're very weak to begin with, so that's going to be hard to detect. But more powerful magnets have their strongest power at their ends or their poles. Now, we also read about and talked about this in our science lesson too, about how opposite poles attract. But if you were to put two north poles and try to put them together, they're not going to stick together. They're going to repel, or they're going to pull apart from each other, or push apart. They are not going to attract each other because with magnets, opposites attract. So a north and a south would attract each other and pull together or stick together. The other thing that I wanted to mention is the magnetic field. If you sprinkle iron filings out, which I know isn't something that you probably keep at your house. I have a whole container full at school, but if you lay them out and then you bring a magnet, the ends of the magnet are going to kind of pull, and you'll be able to see how far the magnetic field of those magnets is because you'll see them pull. Now, if you get far enough away, the filings aren't going to move, but closer to it, they're going to pull toward that force, that magnetic force. So those iron filings can definitely show you the magnetic field of the magnet that you're dealing with. All right, now electromagnets, super cool invention, super cool discovery. We know now that magnets, the magnetic force, the magnetic field can produce electricity. Michael Faraday discovered this, right? He was a cool guy that discovered that magnetic force could produce electricity. Now, when we use electromagnets, the cool thing about it for us is that we can turn them on and off. And so if we want something to be magnetic and we have an electromagnet, we can turn it on and then we can turn it back off again, which is a cool feature. Like if you were in a junkyard, one thing that you might use that electromagnet for, or the thing that you would be having a big magnet that can be turned on and off to attract a car made of iron, pick it up, move it, and then turn that magnet off so that the car drops away. Turning that power on and off with that electromagnet makes that electromagnet very useful. And so that would be a very practical way. But if we want to use an electromagnet, maybe we need electricity, and we want to control that, or we want to control that magnetic force. All right, so Faraday ends up contributing to the invention of things such as, oh, where was it? Electric generators and the electric motor. His work kind of set things up to invent those. I don't know that he actually invented them himself, but his work kind of set the natural progression up so that we could be. Now, inside every electric motor, we also learned that, electric motors get their powers from batteries, all right? And we would have a magnet, wouldn't we, inside? So an electric motor uses electricity to run things. When you plug it in and turn on a hairdryer, a fan, an electric motor makes it work. Some electric motors get their power from batteries. Inside each electric motor is a magnet and its magnetic field. That's pretty cool. So every electric motor has a magnet with a magnetic field inside of it. And so we learned some interesting things. Magnets are interesting. I will openly admit that sometimes for me, understanding some of these technical things in science, it's not my natural gift. Some of you may naturally get this. My oldest son, Ben, understands these things. He is a mechanical kid that tears things apart and builds things up again. And we use his skills all of the time at our house and around our house, and he has that mind that understands this, and I believe some of you have that same mind. And so while I kind of look at it and try to understand it, some of you will naturally get it and you'll be drawn to things like this. And so I think it's a great topic and a useful one, and some very, very awesome and cool inventions have come from the use of magnetic force. I hope you enjoyed this selection this week. And remember to reread this kind of word for word and get it fresh in your memories. Thank you.